Hi, everyone, and happy Migraine Awareness Month. We're talking to all kinds of interesting people that do good stuff for people with migraine that you should go and check out. Today, we are talking to Kacie Ferguson. She's a registered dietitian in the US, and she has a really great blog called Migraine Nutritionist. Thanks for joining us, Kacie.
Yes, thank you for having me.
All right, so tell us a little bit about you, and do you live with migraine yourself?
I do. I got my first migraine attack when I was just 10 years old. And I've kind of experienced every fluctuation of the disease. I've had it to where it was episodic and not something I even thought about. Sorry, my dog is talking to me. I've had
That's
chronic
okay.
daily.
Dogs are totally allowed in Migraine Australia interviews.
She's a great migraine buddy, so she's great to have. But yeah, I've had chronic daily pain. And just 2 years ago, I was really suffering and struggling with migraine.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a really good neurologist, and she started suggesting all these other advice about like lifestyle and diet and sleep, and considering those kinds of factors that can play a role in migraine. And I had already studied nutrition, and so it was really exciting to learn some of those complementary methods to help aid migraine, and I implemented them. It made a huge difference for me, and now I want to help other people do the same.
That's awesome. So you've developed this thing called the MEND method. Tell us what it is.
The MEND method, it is a well-rounded way to kind of address migraine from a holistic point of view. So we focus on mindfulness, exercise, nurture, and diet. And when we focus on those kinds of things, you can learn to prevent migraine attacks and strengthen your threshold against your triggers, so you're less reactive to your triggers. And it creates a better sense of well-being. And that is the MEND
method. It's pretty simple, really. I mean, we talk a lot about the same things. You have to have this holistic approach to diet, to exercise, to wellness, and of course you need to look after your mental health as well, which is kind of a really big thing that doesn't get talked about a lot. So how did you get into how did you cross that threshold from a migraine patient that had used their knowledge to figure out something good to actually becoming a migraine advocate and becoming a blogger and a social media influencer, as we say these days?
That's a great question. So whenever I did have that one really stellar neurologist, which unfortunately I'm not working with anymore because I moved, she really pointed me towards finding community online and finding some of those lifestyle alterations that have been so helpful for me. So I, with my personal Instagram account, just started looking up all these other migraine accounts, and I loved it. It made me feel so much more understood, and I just loved the awareness and all the education out there, and I knew I wanted to do the same thing. So once I kind of felt like I had a grip on my own illness, you don't need to have a grip on your own illness, I guess I should say. You can start anywhere. But once I felt like I was ready to help other people and do the same thing, I just translated my skills as a dietitian and, wellness educator, and used that with my Instagram account, and started connecting with others.
There is a great migraine community on Instagram. I'm not a big Insta person, but I always get kind of really, I don't know, I get warm fuzzies when I go onto Instagram, and there's such a vibrant migraine community. Was there anyone on the migraine, in the migraine community on Insta that you kind of went, oh, this person's doing it really well, I want to do stuff like them? Is there an influencer that influenced you?
Yeah, there are so many, and I don't think I'm going to be able to list them all off the top of my head, but I remember a couple of accounts that I ran into were Emily's Movement with Migraine, Mindful Migraine from Natalie, I think it's Mindfulness with Migraine from Ashley. Love Josephine Yoga. Yeah, there's a lot of really great accounts out there, and they're all focusing on different things, whether that's just living with migraine or focusing on exercise or the mindset piece. There's a really, as you said, really vibrant, well-rounded Instagram community.
All right. So what would be your advice for somebody that was kind of at that point of thinking that they can start helping others on social media?
As I said before, I don't think you need to feel like you have your illness under control. I think you can start anytime. Just getting online and talking to other people, just finding other people and, Instagram messaging with them, or even Facebook. I'm sure there's a really great Facebook community as well. Just getting out there and getting started.
The Facebook community is largely within groups, like it's not across groups like it is, like it's kind of really quite open on Insta. And Twitter is, it's even less. Insta is kind of, it really is migraine capital in terms of sharing and connecting. But that's, really fantastic advice. And we thank you for making your time, and you can go help Ginger with whatever it is that she wants, probably just you.
Yeah, I think she wants some pets.
Absolutely. No worries. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for having me.